Welcome back to the Market Pulse series. I am ex-war trader. In our last episode, we saw the trade war shockwave hit Asia. We witnessed the market carnage in Hong Kong and Shanghai, but also the strange paradox of China's domestic tech and rare earth sectors surging on a wave of nationalist self-reliance. We explored the taco theory, that Trump's aggressive moves are a high-pressure negotiation tactic. The story has now evolved. The initial panic on the trading floors has subsided, and the focus has shifted from the chaotic world of high-frequency trading to the calculated high-stakes world of international diplomacy. The politicians and their top envoys are now making their moves on the global chessboard. On Wednesday in Washington, D.C., U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent stepped up to the podium, and his words have set a new tone for the conflict. He presented an offer, a threat, and a direct personal insult that has escalated the war of words to an entirely new level. Today, we dissect the diplomat's gambit, the olive branch and the sword. For months, the US and China have been locked in a tense cycle of 90-day truces, temporary pauses in a tariff fight that once saw US levies skyrocket. With the next deadline looming on November 10th, the world has been waiting to see who would blink first. Scott Bessent provided a potential path forward. In a press conference, he dangled a significant olive branch, the possibility of extending the pause on import duties for longer than the standard 3 months. Is it possible that we could go to a longer roll in return? Perhaps, Bessent stated. This was the first real hint of a possible de-escalation from the US side. But this olive branch came attached to a sharp sword. The condition for any extension is absolute. China must halt its plan for strict new export controls on rare earth elements. This is the quid pro quo. The U.S. is signaling a willingness to ease the pressure, but only if China backs away from weaponizing its control over the world's most critical minerals. As Bessent made clear, everything is going to be negotiated in the coming weeks. The message is clear. Your move, Beijing, assembling the alliance, a united front. Perhaps the most significant development was not the offer, but the threat that accompanied it. Bessent revealed a new and powerful strategy. The U.S. is not planning to act alone. He predicted a coordinated global response to China's rare earth controls. We're going to have a fulsome group response to this, Bessent declared at a CNBC forum, because bureaucrats in China cannot manage the supply chain or the manufacturing process for the rest of the world. He then laid out the members of this potential alliance. Pointing out that his counterparts were in Washington for the annual IMF and World Bank meetings, he said, "We're going to be speaking with our European allies, with Australia, with Canada, with India, and the Asian democracies." This changes the entire dynamic of the conflict. This is no longer a one-on-one boxing match between Washington and Beijing. Bessent is framing this as a team sport, positioning the U.S. as the captain of a global coalition of democracies standing up to China's control over critical supply chains. For Beijing, the prospect of facing a united front of its largest trading partners is a far more daunting challenge than dealing with the U.S. alone. Good cop, bad cop? Bessent versus Trump. While Bessent, the diplomat, was carefully crafting a message of negotiation backed by allied strength, his boss was singing a different tune. When a reporter asked President Trump if the two countries were in for a sustained trade war, his reply was blunt and unequivocal. "Well, you're in one now." He added, "We have a 100% tariff. If we didn't have tariffs, we would be exposed as being a nothing." This contrast is striking. Is it a classic good cop, bad cop strategy, with Bessent offering a diplomatic off-ramp while Trump maintains the hardline pressure? Or does it reveal a genuine division within the administration? Either way, it keeps Beijing guessing. Interestingly, Bessent dismissed the idea that a falling stock market would force the U.S. to negotiate. He stated firmly that the U.S. won't negotiate with China because the stock market is going down, but rather based on the economic interest of the nation. This is a direct message to Beijing not to misinterpret market volatility as a sign of weakening American resolve. Unhinged. The war of words gets personal. The most shocking moment of the day, however, was when the diplomatic language was thrown out the window. Bessent launched a direct and personal attack on a specific Chinese official, Vice Commerce Minister Li Chenggang. Referencing comments Li made during a visit to Washington in August, Bessent labeled the official as unhinged and disrespectful. He accused Li of showing up uninvited and using very incendiary language. Maybe he thinks he's a wolf warrior, Bessent said, using the popular term for China's new generation of aggressive confrontational diplomats. He claimed Li had warned that China would cause global chaos if the U.S. went ahead with its plans. This is an extraordinary breach of diplomatic protocol. To single out and personally insult a foreign official by name is a significant escalation. It takes the conflict out of the realm of policy and into the realm of personal animosity, making future negotiations far more difficult and fraught with tension. Decouple versus de-risk, the global crossroads. Ultimately, Bessent framed the entire conflict around a central choice, not just for the US and China, but for the entire world. The choice is between de-risking and decoupling. He explained that China's actions, like initially blaming a holiday for a slowdown in rare earth magnet supplies, suggest they can't be trusted with the global supply chain. If China wants to be an unreliable partner to the world, then the world will have to decouple, he warned. He then clarified the preferred path. The world does not want to decouple. We want to de-risk, but signals like this are signs of decoupling, which we don't believe China wants. This is the core of the issue. De-risking means diversifying supply chains, reducing reliance on any single country, and building redundancies, a painful but manageable process. Decoupling means a full-blown separation of the world's two largest economies, a chaotic and economically devastating event for everyone. Bessent's message is that the path the world takes is now up to Beijing. The offer for a truce is on the table. The threat of a global coalition is real. And all eyes are once again on the upcoming APEC summit in South Korea, where a potential meeting between Trump and Xi Jinping will determine if they choose the path of de-risking or if they drag the world down the path of decoupling. Thank you for tuning in to the Market Pulse series. The situation is evolving by the hour, and we will be here to track every move. I'm ex-war trader, thanks for listening.